comic book fans, and welcome to another exciting edition of Cammy's Comic Corner. I'm your host as always, Cammy. Now I know this is coming out on Saturday, and you're thinking, what the hell's up with that? But I was sick on Wednesday, so my whole schedule's been pushed back a day. So now it's finally coming out to you a day later. Don't worry, I'm fine now, but I just wanted to make that announcement. I'm not slacking or anything like that. I know I'm a busy man, but I never am too busy not to do a podcast. So anyway, let's get on to the pick of the week. From Image, we have Invincible number 63, written by Robert Kirkman and art by Ryan Ottley. Now, this issue just totally blew my frickin' mind. We have Conquest versus Invincible. They've been just hammering it out, and this issue takes it to the next level. Omniboy, Mark's half-brother, he tries to help out, but he almost gets torn in two by Conquest, and Mark has to go, no, and has to just keep on hitting him, just maintaining the focus on me, like, hey, look at me, don't look at him, look at me. Then even Adam Eve wakes up from her coma, and she is now, like, interested in helping Mark, even though she's injured and everything. Cecil needs people. It's alright, if you think you can do, you know, I'll go ahead, go out and fight. Big mistake. Her force fields just cannot contain Conquest, and he punches a hole through her stomach, and just demolishes her face. And she dies in Mark's arms. And Mark is just crying. He's just so filled with rage. And while he's being filled with rage, Conquest goes, you know, Mark, I just want to let you know. I want to thank you for whatever you did to piss the Viltrumites off, but I've never had this much fun in a while. Usually it's don't kill this person, you know, leave this undestroyed, but they just let me go all out here, so I want to thank you for that. And Mark tells him, you're not gonna live to see tomorrow. And that's where the issue ends. And it's like, oh my god, mind-blowing. It's just bloody, all the explosions and the fight scenes, just gorgeous art, and Robert Kirkman just continues to kick ass on this series. Fuck Captain America 600. Go pick up Invincible number 63 this week. Now on to the Fast Five. First up, from Marvel's Max imprint, we have Destroyer number 3, also written by Robert Kirkman. Only this issue is a tad bit bloodier. We follow Turret and Destroyer as they look for Destroyer's daughter and Turret's fiance/wife. They track down Scar. They find him in the factory where him and Destroyer first fought. Only he's waiting with goons to take Turret and Destroyer down. Turret and Destroyer have no problem going through the goons, and by the end of this battle, Destroyer is like, you know, his costume's all ripped off, and he is just nothing but covered in blood. He is just a red blob killing people. It's just that much blood, and he teaches Scar a lesson. And let's just say, Scar is no longer going to be a problem, because not only does he have no head, but a crater, where his head used to be, because he was punching that much. Just killer, bloody series, only 2 issues left. I've been loving this miniseries that Kirkman's been doing, and bravo to him. Next up from Vertigo, we have Jack of Fables number 35. Now this is almost over. Just 1 issue left of the big Fables crossover. But in this issue, we have the genres versus Bigby and Co. They're, you know, just shoot out in the forest. And Bigby, even though he's a little girl, he's sick and tired of just sitting around waiting for something to happen. Obviously, both sides have unlimited ammo, so he flanks around the side of the genres. And even though he's a little girl, the genres can't touch him because everyone has their, like, oh, well, I can't kill a child. You know, that's not what cowboys do, or that we would never have that in the army. And so Bigby goes apeshit and just tears through all of them as a little girl. So he's decapitating, he's ripping through, he's biting, all as a little blonde-haired little girl. But then he finally just changes into a wolf form at the end, and Jack Frost joins the party, and they're all off to go visit Kevin. Great series. I cannot wait till the last issue. Next up from Marvel, we have Dark Reign Fantastic Four number 4. Now in this issue, Norman Osborn finally gets to the Fantastic Four building. He says, I'd like to speak to your mom and dad, little girl, which is Valeria and Franklin. And they said, oh, they're not here right now. They're off saving the world. And sure enough, Reed is done with the bridge. He finally has gone through 1 billion Earths, and he decides that there was nothing that he could do to avoid where the world is today, with all the circumstances. He couldn't stop any of that. You know, there's always, he went through a bunch of worlds trying to figure out if there was a way, nothing. So he just has to accept that, and he says, you know, I'm the smartest being on Earth. I can, you know, improve it in some way. And so they're all back. Poor Johnny, Sue, and Ben. They are no longer going through time with their different selves. And it ends with Norman shooting at the kids. And good thing he missed. Well, it doesn't really matter if he missed or not, because now he has the Fantastic Four to deal with. And they don't like people shooting at their children. So very action-packed issue. One more issue left, and I trust Jonathan Hickman. Speaking of Jonathan Hickman, next up from Image we have Red Mass for Mars #3. Now, you might have heard of this title 10 months ago when issue 2 came out. But it's been a while. It's been a while since it's finally come out. But being a huge Jonathan Hickman fan that I am, I just had to pick it up. And sure enough, it did not disappoint. The art is gorgeous, the story is great, and we get a little backstory of where the superhero Mars came from, how he got his powers, and how he rose to power, and how... it's kind of, if you've been reading Irredeemable over at Boom Studios, it's kind of like that same vein, only if this came out 10 months ago when it should have, it would have beat Irredeemable to the dark superhero gone bad vibe. Now, in this issue, though, you get to see a little bit more of it, how he just kills everything in his sight to make sure everyone's safe, and even just kind of laments about how he lost his wife and how he gained his son. It's pretty brutal stuff, but still a great book nonetheless, and there's only one issue left. I highly recommend you get it now, or just wait for trade if you don't want to wait another 10 months. And finally this week from Marvel, we have Captain America #600. Not because I thought it was a good book, but I know I'll be getting a dozen emails telling me I'm a horrible person if I don't review this book. Some people out there are Marvel zombies, and when they watch the podcast and I don't review a certain Marvel title, they get really irritated, and I will hear about it. They think I'm the Antichrist, they think I'm a DC sympathizer, or they think that I'm a Marvel hater. This is simply not the case. I haven't picked Captain America in the past before because I thought the story was mediocre. That being said, I was very sad to see that Bucky didn't really get to be Captain America for longer than expected. I was hoping to see a couple more stories, maybe another couple of years with him under the with the shield, but that's apparently not the case in this issue. Sharon Carter finds the gun that she used to shoot down Steve Rogers a couple of years ago, and apparently something about magic bullets, or anyway, she can bring him back to life supposedly, and it's just for $5. This whole hype was not worth it. You got all the frickin' little tiny covers in the back, and these are Jack Kirby covers. You don't shrink them down to a little teeny beanie. You put out a book of Jack Kirby covers. That's how gorgeous the man's art is. But if I had to choose, you know, I'd tell you to spend your $5 on Thor #600 instead, because that, I felt, was, you got the great stories, you got all the killer backup material. In Captain America 600, no, it just didn't float my boat. But I had to talk about it regardless, or else you people would have tarred and feathered me, as it were. Anyway, so that does it this week for comics. If you want more Cammy's Comic Corner goodness, go to cammyscomiccorner.com. From there you can subscribe to us on iTunes or on the RSS feed. And also you can click on the banner to theouthouse.com. Well, actually, it's theouthousers.com, but it's The Outhouse, and you can see more of me on there. Also, if you like any of the kick-ass t-shirts that you see me wearing, head on over to www.deadlinegraphics.net and send Kelly an email. He has all the killer companies. He has DC, Marvel, Image, Dark Horse. Whatever you want, he can make it for you. The deal going on for the month of June is free shipping in the United States and discounted shipping overseas. So with a deal like that, you better stock up on your shopping cart. There's only one name that I trust when it comes to comic book t-shirts, and that's Kelly over at www.deadlinegraphics.net. And also, speaking of cool websites you should be checking out, head on over to www.rsc-online.com. Rising Sun Creations is my newest sponsor, and they specialize in collectible toys imported straight from Japan, manga, and U.S. comic books, all located conveniently in one store or online store at rsc-online.com. And thanks to them, we have a contest, and they are providing a copy of Dark Tower, the Gunslinger Born. If you would like a copy of this said book, send me an email at cammyscomiccorner@gmail.com, and in the subject line, put Dark Tower Contest. I will randomly select a winner and ship off the book sometime next week. So thank you, Rising Sun Creations, for doing such a bang-up job at sponsoring this contest. Well, comic book fans, that does it this week. I hope you enjoyed this week of comics. If you've been looking at next week's comics, next Wednesday is going to be freaking huge. It's going to be so big, I might not even do a show. I'm kidding, I'll do a show, but it might have to end in a .5 episodes. There's that many books coming out. But until then, this has been Cammy's Comic Corner. I have been your host, Cammy. You stay classy, planet Earth.